Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be flying Breeze Airways and their Airbus A220, one of my favorite aircraft. Here's a little sneak peek of what's to come. Should we go fly Breeze Airways next? I think we should. This one I'm putting under the category of airlines you've probably never heard of, because you probably haven't. It's a little bit more popular than Southern Airways Express, which I just did earlier. I'll link to that video above. But we're gonna check this out. I think the A220, I've been on one before, is one of my favorite planes. But we're gonna check this one out, see how it stacks up. I paid for all the fixings. You know, we didn't skimp on this channel. So hopefully you enjoy. Can someone with more knowledge than me explain how airlines pick which routes to fly? Apparently there are only 57,000 people in Lancaster, and I can't imagine the demand is that high for Orlando. Regardless, Lancaster does have a sweet airport. I've always really liked the small regional airports, especially ones that have an exhibit or two on aviation history. Very cool. Soon enough, it was time to line up and start boarding. We need to talk a little bit about the Airbus A220 because I absolutely love this plane. The Airbus A220 is a narrow-body twin-engine jet airliner. It was originally developed by Bombardier Aerospace as the C Series, but Airbus acquired a majority stake in the program in 2018 and rebranded it as the A220. I sort of think of the A220 as like a regional jet on steroids. It was designed for the sort of mid-market 100 to 150 seat segment, which typically flies the longer regional routes. But with a range of 3,800 miles, this puppy could get you from New York to LA without really breaking a sweat. The technical specifications are cool and all, but where it really shines is passenger comfort. The cabin is larger and more spacious than what you would expect from other aircrafts on similar routes, and it's actually super quiet too. Well, that's enough talking about it. Let's go check it out. Breeze Airways calls their first-class product Breeze Ascent, and it's configured in a typical 2-2 configuration you may find on most major carriers' first-class products. Other than first class, the remainder of the plane was split, 3 on one side and 2 on the other. The seats denoted by a red-lined headrest are the extra legroom seats, while the ones in yellow are the standard economy seats. The Ascent seat itself was basic, but very roomy and comfortable. There was in-seat power with USB Type A and Type C, which is always good to see, along with your standard international power plug. Overall, I love the cabin. It's no frills, but it doesn't need to be at the price of this ticket. I mean, to be fair, I've had worse seats on Delta, United, and American that cost way more. As it was almost time to leave, I took a peek out of my window just to see the Cessna Grand Caravan that took me here sitting on the runway awaiting its next mission. Go check that video out if you haven't yet. It was a pretty cool ride. And if you are enjoying these in-flight videos, consider subscribing to support the channel. The jet bridge being driven away signaled that it was about time to begin our 2.5-hour journey down to Orlando in the Sunshine State. As a side note, it's kind of crazy how small planes can be. As we reached cruising altitude, I pulled out my tray table to prepare for service starting soon. There were a pretty good selection of snacks and drinks to purchase, but if you got the fancy seat like I did, the food and drinks were included in your purchase. So naturally I got a beer, and let me put y'all on to these Voodoo chips real quick. Easily one of the best chips in the game. As you may have noticed by now, Breeze is a bring your own device kind of airline. There is no seatback entertainment, which is to be expected. Unfortunately, the internet was not working on my flight, but hats off to Breeze, who was able to notify us via text before the flight that Wi-Fi might not be available and we should download whatever we wanted to watch. However, I am addicted to the internet, so through the magic of editing, let's go to the wonderful world of the World Wide Web and see how we booked this ticket. Alright, today we are flying Breeze Airways. I'm going to let you in on a little behind the scenes. You'll see that we're booking from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And the reason why we're doing that is because I just got off my last plane that you probably saw on the last video from DC to Lancaster. I do not live in Lancaster. I don't know anything about Lancaster, but I wanted to fly airlines that you have probably never heard of, and that took me to Lancaster. Now the thing about Lancaster, they only have 2 airlines that serve them. Number 1, on my last video, Southern Airways Express, and then number 2, Breeze Airways. Now, if you want a choice on where to go from Lancaster using Breeze Airways, I got bad news for you, because it's only Orlando, Florida. But that's fine. And I got bad news if you want to pick your day to travel too, because they only fly on Thursdays and Sundays apparently. Oh, here's a Tuesday over here. But no worries, we are going October 13th on Sunday. So let's search. So this is perfect. My other flight lands at 9:50, I believe. Small airport, there's no going from terminal to terminal. And it looks like you get 4 fare options here. No flex fare, nice, nicer, and nicest. This is free to roam. We do the nicest on this channel, so we're gonna check that. 190 total. Okay, so these looks like, oh, the plus sign. Yeah, they add on. Okay, well that makes sense. All right, we're going to Orlando. Loading. Okay, you get to pick your seat. Looks like Breeze Ascent must be sort of their first class. And I believe they only fly Airbus A220s, but I'm actually not sure. But regardless, we want a window seat. Let's get in the back. Let's do A. Let's do, oh, I guess it's G1. No, 3A. Guest 1. Got it. Okay. All right, so this you get, looks like a little first class looking seat. Complimentary snacks and drinks, including alcohol. 2x2. Nice. I like it. Continue to bags. All right. Well, we're not going to have these many bags, but there it is if you want to know. And you have to log in. All right. Guess I'm going to do this. Sign up. As you'll see, all in all, this ticket costs $190, which I think is a screaming deal. Just in case you are at all curious of what the bathroom looks like on an A220, then behold. It looks about like every other plane bathroom, just newer. For what it's worth, it was clean and wasn't yet showing any signs of real wear and tear. As we wrap up this really pleasant flight, I thought it might be fun to talk about a brief history of Breeze Airways since they're relatively new and hopefully you don't know too much about them. Breeze Airways was founded by a guy named David Neilman who has legit started like 5 different airlines, including JetBlue and WestJet, which I think is pretty wild. Breeze launched its first flight on May 27, 2021. Their whole operating business model is meant to serve, quote, underserved routes between secondary cities. Often those routes don't have direct connections. It originally operated a fleet of Embraer 190 and 195 aircraft, but in 2022 it started to introduce the Airbus A220s that you see today. It currently has orders for about 80 of these bad boys, so I have a feeling we will be seeing more Breeze in the future. Alright, let's enjoy some scenery as we come to land in Orlando, Florida. my final thoughts on Breeze Airways are overwhelmingly positive. Based on my experience, I can recommend this airline without hesitation. I thought I got a great deal. $190 for any version of an airline's first class for a 2.5-hour flight is a great deal in my opinion. The plane was clean and comfortable, and I could have sat in that seat for hours without my butt going numb. The flight attendants were all super nice too, and relaxed, and you could just tell that they enjoyed their job. The snack and drink selection was varied and had some unique, unexpected items on there. Overall, I had a great flight. I'll definitely be seeking out Breeze Airways for my future travels. Thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.